So welcome everybody to Melting Heart Boutique. We're located in Phoenix, Arizona at 7th Avenue in Camelback. Thank you for joining us in the short segments where we interview local people. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Amelia Garcia, the good friend of mine. We've quickly become like this.
Awesome.
She goes by Dita, and today we're going to talk about her and her life experience. So welcome, Amelia. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
And tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Okay. Like you said, my name is Amelia Garcia. People also call me Dita. I'm a native from New Mexico, Las Cruces. I've been here in Phoenix for 5 years. I have 3 wonderful children, a 16-year-old daughter, 8-year-old son, and my youngest is 3. I've been in Phoenix going on 5 years now. And yeah, I love it here.
You came to visit.
I did. I came to visit.
And you're still here visiting.
And I never left. Yes. It's awesome what happens when you don't plan for things. You know, things just happen, and that's kind of what happened for me here.
And from what I know about you, you're decided to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what really attracts me to becoming your friend, is the fact that you go with the flow, and we're all like doing our best on this spiritual journey to go with the flow. Tell me a little bit about what you do, because I know you're a doula.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I'm a doula. A doula is a birthing coach. So we help pregnant women, of course, go through labor naturally, hopefully. Here in the U.S., our percentage is really low on natural childbirth, and we're seeing the effects of what's happening to these babies because of interventions such as the epidural and C-sections, and what's happening with, you know, the mom and baby bonding. So our goal is to help educate women on their rights and all of that stuff in the hospital. And we do a lot of comfort measures, you know, empower women to birth naturally, and they do a really good job when a doula is around. I've learned through personal experience, like, it's a completely different thing when you have a doula.
So did you have your last child naturally?
I did. My first 2, I had an epidural. I was very young with the first one, so I didn't even know I had a choice. I didn't know what an epidural was. They were just like, you know, we're going to put a shot in your back. I was like, okay. And I didn't really know. And then the second one, I was like, oh man, give me that shot again. And with my third one, I did have a doula. And it was just a completely different experience. It was life-changing. And so when I got the opportunity to become a doula, I was like, yes, I want women to experience natural childbirth like I was able to, and just help them know their strength as humans, as women who bear children, you know, give them that power back to give birth naturally.
So walk me through the steps. I'm pregnant and I want to have a child in the natural way. What are the steps? What do I do?
Get a doula. So you would contact, hopefully, like, you know, look up doulas. You can find a lot of information on the internet, and then I would meet with you, like, for an interview, and you would decide, okay, I would be comfortable with her at my birth or not. It's a pretty big decision to make. Having somebody involved in one of the most precious moments of your life is, you know, so you do the interview process. And then if you choose me, I would go to your house. I would like to see you at least 3 times before the birth. That way we can, you know, set up a birth plan, do comfort measures, give you a bunch of information on what they're going to do to you, how the doctors are going to offer you certain interventions, you know. If they're medically necessary, then yeah, of course you're going to do that. We don't ever put you in harm's way, but we also advocate for you. If you don't know what the doctors are saying, we explain it to you in, you know, our terms. And so it's a lot of information and educating the moms to be on how to give birth naturally.
It's almost like you're an advocate, right, for the mother-to-be.
Yeah, for natural childbirth. I think people don't think we can do it anymore. Right. You know, that women can't give birth naturally, or it's people are afraid of the pain. But we've been doing it for thousands of years.
Right.
And until recently have they been able to take that pain away, but they take so much more than just that pain. You know, they take that connection, that everything that birthing is. So
I think that's what's wrong with a lot of the relationships between mother and son, mother-daughter, is that when you get the epidural, it blocks the process, the natural process of bonding with your child, right?
Definitely.
And so to have the natural birth means more than just going through the pain. It means actually bonding with your child.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say that. Like, to be able to feel that pain, it's a blessing, you know, and as weird as it sounds, it's a real blessing. And, you know, we found a way to numb it out. And it numbs not only the pain there, but for the rest of your life. I think it has a lifelong effect on mother and child. Well,
you're not just a doula, you're also a sun dancer, and you also practice ceremonies, and I want people to learn about that. Tell me a little bit about what your spiritual practice is and the sun dancing.
Okay, Native American church is what it's called, I guess. I'm Tarahumara from my mother's side. My grandma was from Chihuahua, Mexico. My dad's family are Apache from northern New Mexico. And yeah, I learned about my roots when I was quite young, and we got introduced to some Native American ceremonies, which I believe saved our family a lot. And yes, I'm a sun dancer. I've been sun dancing. This will be my 4th year, and that's a Lakota tradition. It's a 4-day dance. 4-day dance, 4-day preparation, so it's about an 8-day ceremony where we go and, you know, give ourselves a little sacrifice of ourselves for 4 days, and we fast and pray. 4 days of praying, you know,
That's
almost like meditating for 4 days, but just really praying.
In your own way, it is. You go in there to remove yourself from society. You go in there to detach. You go in there to let go.
That or get more grounded, maybe. You know, I would say it's just a way of offering yourself, because we get so much from the earth. You know, she does everything for us, gives us everything. So we dance to a tree. It's a tree of life. You know, we honor the sun, the moon, the air, you know, the simple things that people don't appreciate every day. And so it's giving of yourself. And then at the same time, yeah, learning to let go of a lot of stuff that we're conditioned as humans. We're conditioned to. And then we get a chance to refocus and hopefully do some inner healing and outer healing for other people, and, you know, that.
And hold the fort for others, right?
Yeah.
That are not practicing anything.
Yeah, and, you know, we have to teach our children, because they're going to be the ones to carry it on. Our traditions haven't been lost after 500 years. You know, we don't have them, I'm sure, like we used to, but there's some aspects of it are still very much alive.
That's wonderful. I heard your daughter singing in your native tongue,
yes.
And it was absolutely beautiful. Do you also speak?
I sing. We can sing in, yeah, ceremonies. She's angelic. She's just, her voice, she's beautiful.
And I'm sure yours is too.
Thanks. Yeah, she grew up, she was born into these ways, so she's already an old soul, but she's very wise. Yeah, I'm very honored to have her, and my other two too.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about your jewelry. You also make jewelry.
I also make jewelry.
Beautiful jewelry that we carry here at Melting Heart.
Yes, thank you, Melting Heart. So I have to do many things to support me and my 3 children. And I also picked up jewelry making. It kind of came to me as well. You know, I was blessed with an abundance of beads. And I was like, what am I going to do with all these beads? Better learn how to make jewelry, you know, and I can make jewelry and learn to be self-sufficient as well. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 kids and still be at home a lot because I do make jewelry. I do the doula. I've sold food. I've done everything I've needed to do in order to not have a 40-hour-a-week job. So I could be a mom. And I learned how to make jewelry, and it just came to me like it was very relaxing when I started making these, and then I was meditating more and just having more good intention. So it was not only good for me, but it was something beautiful came out of it. And I was like, oh wow. And then people liked it, and I would, you know, do it as gifts. And then somebody was like, why don't you sell your jewelry? And I was like, wow, I could do that, and then I'll make money too. You know, and it's really good. And so I have a pretty good product, and it's not very expensive because I want to share the blessing that was given to me to other people too, and it's not that expensive. So
it's not expensive, but it's very fine quality because
Yes.
all your pieces have stones in them, and they're just beautiful in the way you combine everything. And I've seen you at work, so I know that you go into this zone, and I'm sure that the energy that you're putting into the pieces really attract people to that, not only to the aesthetics of it, but also to the energy that you're putting into it, the intention that you're putting into your jewelry. It just makes it shine brighter. So
yeah,
thank you for that. Thank you for choosing us to carry your work here. Going back to, I was just thinking about the run, going back to your spiritual practice. Tell us a little bit about that run. It's so interesting and fascinating to me.
So it's a Peace and Dignity run. It started in '92 was the first run, but it was because of a meeting that happened in 1990 with a bunch of elders. They had an elders conference, and there was a vision, or it's an old Mayan prophecy of an eagle and a condor like uniting. And so there, my tata Gustavo Gutierrez had a dream or a vision of how to get that going. And they decided to run across the continent and pretty much visit different communities and different tribes and make those relationships that nobody's really keeping. Our elders used to have a way of communicating and could pretty much go anywhere, and now those communications are just being disconnected because of borders and different cultures and stuff. So he decided to run across the continent in prayer. So that's what we do.
It's quite fascinating that back then, when there was less means for communication, so now we have all these communication tools, and that they were able to stay connected prior to that, and now they weren't able to.
Yeah.
And that inspired him to create this run.
Yes.
It's quite fascinating to me how the more technology we have, the more disconnected we become.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, as you were saying that, I'm like, that is interesting. So he did this to stay connected.
Yeah.
And so your tata was a pioneer in this and saw a vision and put it into effect.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell me what happens. Where do you start?
So it's a run that happens every 4 years. There's 2 starting points. One's in Chicxulub, Alaska, and the other one's in Argentina, at the tip of South America. And these 2 runs run, like we go south and they come up north and meet in the middle. We've met in Teotihuacan, just near Mexico City. And now recently they've made the meeting point Panama, because the southern route doesn't have so many resources to run up north as much, so the northern route goes more south. And yeah, they pick a group of runners, of core runners, that will start in Alaska and finish in Panama. You have to pretty much dedicate almost a full year of your life, be able to take it off work, or, you know.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of spiritual and personal growth in doing that. With everything that you do and everything that you touch on and every life that you touch, what do you hope to convey to humanity? What do you hope to convey to our community? And let's say someone's watching watching us somewhere across the world. What do you wish to convey to that person? What is your message?
Yeah, that's a pretty deep question.
It really is.
It is, but I guess I would think of it as if I was, speaking to one of my children, just I would want humans to be kind to one another. Don't lose that humanness of caring for each other without even wanting anything in return, and know that you can help people. With my birthing, I want to empower women to give birth naturally. Like, you can do it, and that in itself will change the world, I think. With the jewelry, I want whoever wears it just to feel good. I don't think people feel good enough. Sadness and hurt and anger are like taking over, and people don't know how to be happy or content. And just keep it simple. It's not as crazy as it seems, and it's the simple things that will get you through it all. I think that would be it.
So it sounds like your message would be to have unconditional love for yourself and others.
Yeah.
And to keep it simple, which I call KISS.
Nice, nice.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us in these short segments. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you come back, subscribe to our channel. Let us know, give us some feedback. If there is someone out there that would like to be here and be interviewed, we'd love to have you. So thank you very much for watching. Have a beautiful, beautiful life.
Bye.
Stay tuned and connected.
Melting Heart.